Infrared light, a form of electromagnetic radiation invisible to the human eye, is constantly around us, emitted by everything from our bodies to the devices we carry every day. This invisible force has been used for decades in technology, from television remote controls to night vision equipment. Yet, while most people are familiar with its role in enabling things like thermal imaging or biometric scanning, few are aware of the dark side of this light. In particular, the infrared light emitted by our personal devices, smartphones, laptops, tablets, and smart home gadgets, can be a silent betrayer, potentially revealing our location and even compromising our privacy. The first discovery of infrared light dates back to the early 19th century when the British astronomer Sir William Herschel noticed that there was heat beyond the red end of the visible spectrum. This invisible light, with wavelengths longer than visible light, but shorter than radio waves, became known as infrared. Today, infrared is essential to various industries, from medical imaging to communications, and it is increasingly embedded in our personal devices. The conveniences and benefits of this technology are undeniable, but as our reliance on it grows, so do the risks. Modern devices are equipped with infrared emitters and sensors for a range of purposes. In smartphones, infrared technology is used for biometric authentication, such as Apple's Face ID, which scans the unique features of a user's face using an infrared beam that maps it in 3D. Similarly, laptops with IR sensors can unlock instantly by recognizing their owners' faces, a feature heralded for its security and ease of use. Smart home devices like security cameras and motion detectors rely heavily on infrared to function in low light conditions, using invisible beams to detect motion or monitor rooms without disturbing the occupants. Even the burgeoning field of augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, makes use of IR technology to track the movement of users and map surroundings. Yet, the very characteristic that makes infrared light so useful, its invisibility, also makes it a potential privacy risk. Infrared signals, although invisible to the human eye, can be detected by specialized cameras and sensors. A determined observer equipped with such technology could potentially use the infrared emissions from your devices to track your movements or gather information about your activities. This could be done without your knowledge, as IR light is emitted even when you're not actively using these features on your devices. One of the most alarming ways that infrared light can expose your location is through infrared-based tracking systems. Infrared tracking works by detecting the specific IR emissions of devices or people and mapping their position in real time. This technology has legitimate uses, such as in military applications or in smart city infrastructures, where infrared cameras monitor public spaces for security purposes. However, the same technology can be used by malicious actors. Hackers or surveillance agencies could exploit the infrared emissions from your phone or other devices to pinpoint your location, even in complete darkness. All devices have distinct IR signatures, and in theory, this could allow someone to create a map of your movements or even identify you based on the unique pattern of your IR emissions. Recent studies have shown how IR light from smartphones and other gadgets can be used to reveal more than just your location. In one experiment, researchers demonstrated how an infrared camera could capture data streams transmitted via IR light in public places. Although the data being transmitted may be mundane, such as handshakes between devices in a wireless data transmission, the fact that these interactions can be detected without the user's knowledge raises significant privacy concerns. If your device is constantly sending out infrared signals that can be intercepted, who's to say that more sensitive information, such as personal data or browsing habits, couldn't be at risk? One particularly concerning development in this field is infrared fingerprinting. Just as every device connected to the internet has a unique IP address, it's possible that each device with an infrared emitter has a unique infrared signature. This means that every time your phone or laptop emits an infrared signal, it might be identifiable based on that signature alone. If this kind of fingerprinting technology becomes more advanced, someone with access to the right equipment could track your specific device across different locations, piecing together a timeline of your movements simply by following the IR emissions trail. The potential for infrared light to be used in covert surveillance is especially worrisome in public spaces. In many cities around the world, IR-equipped surveillance cameras are used to monitor urban environments. These cameras, often part of broader smart city initiatives, operate unobtrusively, capturing data around the clock. Although their primary function is to enhance public safety by monitoring for suspicious activity, they also contribute to an ever-growing network of surveillance that citizens may not be fully aware of. When combined with facial recognition technology or IR-based tracking systems, these cameras could be used to monitor and identify individuals without their consent, effectively eroding privacy in public spaces. Despite these threats, most people are unaware of the potential dangers posed by infrared light. Devices today rarely notify users when they are emitting infrared light. It is common, for example, for a smartphone to use IR for facial recognition each time it is unlocked, but few people know that these emissions are occurring every time they pick up their phone. Similarly, the IR sensors in laptops, tablets, and smart home devices are constantly operating in the background, emitting or detecting invisible signals as part of their routine operations. This lack of transparency makes it difficult for the average user to fully grasp the risks posed by IR light. In response to growing concerns over the privacy implications of infrared technology, researchers and developers are working on ways to mitigate these risks. One of the most promising areas of research is the development of privacy shields that can block or obscure infrared emissions. These shields could be integrated into the hardware of devices, ensuring that IR signals are only emitted when absolutely necessary and cannot be detected by external sources. Another possible solution is the implementation of IR jamming technologies that interfere with infrared signals, preventing them from being intercepted by third-party devices. For users concerned about their privacy, there are steps they can take to protect themselves from the risks associated with infrared light. For starters, it's important to be aware of which devices in your home or workplace are equipped with infrared emitters and sensors. In many cases, you can adjust the settings on these devices to limit the use of infrared technology, such as turning off facial recognition features or disabling motion sensors when they aren't needed. Additionally, some apps and third-party software may have access to your device's IR sensors without your knowledge, so it's wise to regularly review your device's privacy settings and permissions. The dangers of infrared light may not be as immediately obvious as those associated with more familiar technologies like GPS tracking or data harvesting, but they are no less real. As our devices become more sophisticated and interconnected, the lines between convenience and privacy continue to blur. While infrared technology offers undeniable benefits, it also presents new challenges that must be addressed by both consumers and industry professionals alike. The story of infrared light and the risks it poses to privacy is far from over. As technology continues to evolve, so too will the ways in which infrared can be used, both for good and for ill. It's up to us to remain vigilant, to ask questions about the devices we use, and to demand greater transparency from the companies that build them. The invisible light that powers so much of our digital world may be out of sight, but it should never be out of mind.